Hi fairies, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Fiji. It's so nice to have you here. I hope you stay well. Today we are going to be doing something something quite scary. I'm not going to lie, I am very scared. Okay, I'm doing something I've never done before, and that is reading a dark romance book. Pray for me, y'all. I've seen a lot of talks and controversy and just discourse around dark romance and its vices, especially with book talk today, and I've just been very intrigued. I want to see what people see in these books, and so today I am going to be seeing with my own two eyes what is going on in this whole space. I am going right into it. I am actually diving head first, and I will be reading Haunting Adeline by H.D. Carlton. This is one of the most popular dark romance books in today's age, and yeah, I'm really scared, guys, because I have heard a plethora of things around this book and about this book, and I don't know. I don't usually get triggered by things. Like, I read fantasy books that have like dark themes and triggering stuff, but like these books just seem like they take it too far, and especially the fact that they are based on like the real world. Like with fantasies, it's very easy to like remove yourself from it because you already know this isn't real anyway. This is already fake and so incredibly fictional and just made up. But when it's a romance book that's made in the real world, especially apparently this is like a modern day, like I don't know how I feel about it. Okay, so like I said, we're going to be reading Haunting Adeline. I have the ebook right here. Okay, first of all, there's a playlist. Love that. You always need to listen to a good track list while you are watching the MMC murder somebody and then use the gun to, yeah. I'm not going to lie to you, like I'm not going to pretend like I'm not going to be judgmental in this video. So if you cannot handle that, maybe you should click off. Maybe you should click off, because yeah. Yeah, let me put on my glasses. Okay, so let's see what's going on here. Okay, trigger warning. First and foremost, this book ends on a cliffhanger. Okay, if you don't like them, then please, for all that is holy, do not read and then proceed to leave a bad review because you don't like cliffhangers. You've been warned. Thank you, needed that. Second, this is a dark book that includes stalking, non-dubcon. What the fuck is non-dubcon? What does that mean? Graphic violence and sexual situations. A lot of sexual situations, guys. I'm a woman in love with her own character. Okay, I wanted to see his penis as much as possible. Oh. Oh, okay. So if any of these are triggering for you, please do not read this book. But those aren't the ones I'm concerned about. In fact, I know those might even be appealing to some, and I know some authors don't like to lay out the specific triggers as they want readers to experience the book blind. I get that, but with this book, I simply would not feel right if I did not make these triggers very clear. Thank you. The last thing I would ever want to do is put a reader through any type of trauma, whether it is new or relived. And to be frank, it's a pretty fucked up subject matter. Okay, so if you do not want to be spoiled and read further, then stop here. So this book deals heavily with human trafficking, child trafficking mostly. Oh. Okay, but not only that, it deals with the conspiracy theories surrounding the government with child sacrifice and cannibalism. I am heavy-handed on the subject, but I did take great care not to go into the nitty-gritty, nasty details while also showing the reality of what goes on in the world today. Cannibalism? If any readers know me, they know that I don't sugarcoat real-world problems. This book is no exception. Children do die in this book. And while it does not happen in the company of the MC, he does see it, and it is described. So my dear reader, if you choose to go further, it is at your own risk, but on the other side, you may find that you have also fallen in love. We can only hope, right? And then there's the National Human Trafficking Hotline number. Thank you, actually really needed that. Let's read the prologue together. Okay, let's just do it here now. Okay, so apparently she has a stalker. but also this house that she currently lives in is a 1940s Victorian estate, you know, that belonged to her great grandparents and is apparently also haunted. So we have two little plot lines going on here. Little. Yeah. uh I'm really scared. I don't know why I'm scared, but I'm scared. Regardless, I am going to start this book. I'll see you guys when I see you. Pray for me. So our FMC is called Adeline, okay, obviously, and she is basically a writer, and actually a very successful writer, successful enough, I guess. And she is given this Victorian era house by her grandma, who has obviously passed away now. And the funny thing is that when her grandma was living in this house in the 1940s, she also had a stalker, and she was writing like diary entries about the stalker. Like, these are the diary entries and they come before each chapter, and so that's a plot of his own, I guess. And then one particular day, as our FMC is doing a book signing at a bookstore, the MMC, I'm pretty sure his name is Kade, Zaid, I don't know, but he comes across her in this bookstore, and apparently he has fallen in love with her and he cannot, you know, now forget about her. And then obviously he becomes her stalker, and he literally says, all I want to do is break her, shatter her into pieces, and then arrange those pieces to fit against my own. I don't care if they don't fit, I'll make them. And I know I'm about to do something bad. I know that I'm about to cross lines that I will never be able to come back from, but there's not an ounce of me that gives a because I'm obsessed, I'm addicted, and I would gladly cross every single line if it means making this girl mine. Okay, rhymes. If it means forcing her to be mine. And then at the end of the chapter, he says, I've just found myself a little mouse and I won't stop until I've trapped her. Look. The writing of this book is actually way better than I expected. Okay, I expected it to be thoroughly bad, like actually bad. I don't know why. I just expected like Wattpad type writing, but it's actually relatively good, and I'm honestly really happy for that and about that, because it means at least I would have an okay reading experience when it comes to the writing. At least that's how I feel at the moment. But the book is obviously written in first person POV, and it alternates between our FMC and our MMC. And when we're in our FMC's head and reading from her POV, I am enjoying it because I think she's very humorous, and yeah, she's just okay. Like, I like her as a character actually. But the MMC, so far at least, he's just like cringing me out. He's just it's just a little bit dramatic, and I'm just like, enough, calm down. Like, all these talk about how, oh, I just severed this guy's ear and I just cut off his Achilles heel, and yeah, I'm going to like burst his eyeballs. Like, that's corny. I don't know if it's just me, but that's kind of corny. And so I'm just like, okay, when I'm reading his chapters, I'm just eager to move the fuck on, you know what I mean? But yeah, I am quite neutral on the book in itself at the moment. I don't love it, but I'm not hating it. At least right now I'm on chapter 5. So yeah, it's been like 2 days now, and I have been reading this book, albeit quite slow, because I can't even understand what I'm taking in right now. I'm currently 20% into the book, chapter 10, and guys, I don't know what's happening. Like, I truly have no idea what the hell is happening. First of all, it's just so corny and outlandish. I know I was saying in the beginning of this book that writing is actually pretty good, okay? But it's so funny because I tend to read multiple books at once because my attention span just cannot handle it. Like, you have to be a really, really good book for me to truly want to read you and only you for an extended amount of time. And obviously, this book is not that. So I started 2 books. I started Divine Rivals and Theonite's Planet Aidin or Adin by Emma Wong. And it's just so crazy going from that book to this book, because the difference in the writing, the difference in the obvious expertise, like it's so insanely stark and so insanely clear, and I'm just like, holy hell, like what did I get myself into? I don't mean to be mean, I never mean to be mean, but it gets to a point where you actually need to be a little bit mean, just a tiny bit, because what are you saying to me right now? Like, I just want to read some paragraphs. I'm not sure if this is actually going to be a spoiler vlog or a spoiler free vlog, but I want to just read some things to you guys. And the fact that people are dying over this man is crazy to me. This Zaid Meadows, or whatever the hell his name is. The fact that he has people like quaking and shaking and gasping and kicking and giggling their feet is so insanely crazy to me, because he's so corny. Like, I hate being in his POV. Like I said, there are multiple POVs, actually dual POVs. So we have the FMC and MMC, and I much prefer the FMC's POV, because she just feels like an actual like human being. He feels like a gimmick, like some parody of sorts, and it's just so insanely corny anytime I'm reading and we are in his freaking POV, because like we are still in the stalking stage. He's still like just leaving her roses and creeping her out from afar right now, and she's like wanting him for some reason. It's like very thrilling to her. She's like, oh my god, especially the fact that this also happened to her great grandma, like in the 1940s. She's like, oh, history repeating himself. And it's just like, girl, are you stupid? We are following him doing his job as this person who gathers traffickers and people that hurt other people, and he's essentially hurting them and taking the law into his own hands and torturing them and dismembering their bodies. And it's just like, it's too freaking corny, because in what world does this happen? And at the same time, he's nursing this obsession he has with Adeline, and he's constantly like in her space. Like, Adeline was making out with this guy called Archie at, I think, this club or whatever, and obviously Zaid sees her and sees them making out, and he's just like, I have committed homicide, cold-blooded murder on many men who have worn different faces of the devil, and I've done it for various reasons, whether they raped a child, killed an innocent, or destroyed someone's life that didn't deserve it. But I've never killed someone out of jealousy. First time for everything, I guess. I'm going to fucking kill myself. I'm actually going to kill myself. Get a grip. Like, get over yourself. Apparently, this Archie that Adeline was making out with, he not only wants to kill him because he was making out with Adeline, but also because apparently he beat up his ex-wife to a pulp, and obviously he's like the savior. He fights for everybody. I don't know, I might have to switch to audiobook, but I tried the audiobook and it was even corny. Maybe it was just that specific audiobook and the audiobook artist, narrator, whatever they're called, but it was even cornier, like having somebody, a real human being, actually say those things. It's like, okay, like I don't know. I really don't know. And look, I did not intend to make this video just to bash on this author, okay? I truly wanted to give this book a fair chance. I knew it was not going to rock my world by any means. I knew I was not going to love it or obsess over it, because no. But I wanted to give it a fair chance, especially when it comes to the writing. I wanted to see about the writing. I wanted to see if there could actually be a sensible plot. And I will say the plot is, I mean, as sensible as it can be, I guess. It's not too outlandish. Like, I read some outlandish books, but the fact that this one is just so like dark, and the way the dark things and triggering things are incorporated, it just feels so gimmicky and so unrealistic and corny to me, and I just cannot deal right now. But obviously I will keep pushing through, and yeah, that's my little update so far. I obviously will continue reading. Like I said, I might pick up the audiobook so I can hasten this up. But yeah, I'll see you guys when I have more to say and maybe another rant to give. So you killed this guy because he's a bad person. He was preying on Adeline and he's a wife beater. Okay, like, that's fine. Thank you for your service. but why the hell did you send his severed hands back to Adeline? Like, what's the point? What's the purpose? Like, what's your goal? What's your aim? And he also sent a note like, why I enjoy punishing you for every time you call the police. Let's hold off this time. We don't want to have to hurt them next time. You're threatening me and you're threatening the police. And then he killed the guy's entire family too. His father, 2 brothers, an uncle, and 2 cousins. Like, I get they are bad people, but so now she's investigating her great grandmother's death because apparently she thinks it might have been that stalker that killed her. But like, she died in the 1940s, okay? So she's basically investigating like a murder that is over 50 years old. Okay. This is absolutely insane. Like, I am just here listening and my mouth is just like I cannot believe what I'm reading. Like, I truly cannot believe what I'm reading. How do people actively read and listen or whatever to this every day? Every day. Like, it's really wild to me, okay? And I know, like, we're always saying don't judge people because of the books they read, blah blah blah, but I am judging. Sorry, I am actively judging because this is insane. First of all, when we first started this book, okay, the author gave us trigger warnings and she said something about non-dubcon. There's non-dubcon in this book, and I honestly did not know what that was prior to this, so I did look it up, and apparently dubcon is when you get consent, but it's not like freely giving consent. It's consent that is given just to appease the person that it's being given to, okay? And then non-con is consent that is given, but then act like you give consent to someone and then you act like you didn't. Like, it's a fetish type of thing, I think, but like that's not even the key. Like, that's not what's happening here. It's pure, like, let's say it how it is. That's what's happening in this book. Actual rape. Like, he's literally tying her up, forcing her. She's actively saying no, and because she's like getting wet and, you know, obviously you have it. Like, I really don't like the connotation of this book because it's making it as if, oh, once you're like sexually attracted, you know, or once like as a woman you're being touched in a sexual way and you are getting aroused, that means you asked for it, you know, and that means it's okay. But like, it's not. She's actively saying no. Like, when he finishes whatever he does with her, she's like crying for days, and it's just like, what the fuck. I will say she's actively also like, you know, egging him on and pushing this whole thing. I don't know what her problem is. Like, she's actually fucking stupid. In the beginning of the book I was like, yeah, she's such a baddie, like she's so strong-willed, but then like, are you the things she's doing, like I don't even know what to say, guys. Like, the whole gun scene, if you've read this book, you know what I'm talking about. The scene with the gun. Like, the fact that somebody thought this up and thought it up as a romance, and people are actively and actually eating it up. Like, I cannot tell you the amount of times I've heard of this MMC and this book in general. Like, before I even knew what the book was about, I heard so many people raving about this MMC, and I was like, oh, I really want to read this book. And then I found out what it's about, and I I said no, okay. But like, it's crazy to me that young people and very impressionable people can, just like I did, see these, you know, videos and conversations about this MMC and think, oh, that's so, he's so cute, he's so hot, he's so this, and then they read this book and they see this thing and they see how, you know, consent is being played with in such a way and being, you know, pushed to the side and made to feel or be like something that doesn't necessarily matter. He's literally saying, oh, I know she doesn't want it, but she will want me. And you know, the way she got wet, that meant like it's actually pissing me off. It's actually pissing me off. And I just hate the MMC. Like, there's nothing attractive about him. They're trying to make us like him because he's this good person that is saving, you know, children and young girls from child trafficking rings and stuff like that. But first of all the things he's doing is unrealistic as fuck. Like, unrealistic. So many plot holes. And like, you're also a bad person. So you're trying to do good things while actively being a bad person. So she's finally telling her best friend what's actually happening between her and this stalker, who she still doesn't know his name, by the way. And yeah, she basically tells her unwillingly, of course, and her best friend is like, bitch, what the fuck? She shouts. She leans in closer, an unreadable emotion flaring in her eyes. Was it consensual? And this is where I get tripped up, because it wasn't. But had he kept going, had he stripped his clothes from his body and f***ed me, I can't say with absolute certainty that I wouldn't have stopped him or that I would have wanted to. So like, is this thing that we all know there was no consent, we all know this is literally rape, but the FMC is trying to like act, oh, but I would have not let him stop, I would have let him continue because I wanted it. But it's like, can you tell that I am truly just over it, like fully over it?
Baby, it's 2:30 and I should probably head back home, but I'm afraid to be alone. What do I need to do?
So her best friend is a hacker, okay, Daya, that's her name, and apparently she's like the best hacker out there, but also her stalker is claiming to be an incredible hacker as well. So I guess there are some conflicting things happening there, but like it's just so freaking corny, you know, like in Nickelodeon movies and Disney movies and just like all this type of corny ass shows where there's a hacker and they're like, oh, we need to get into this, and the hacker is just like, I need to bypass the mainframe and then get into the motherboard, and then, like, you know, that corny ass buzzword filled type of language that hackers have in all these shows. That's exactly what's happening here. Like, it's just so extra and dramatic for no reason. Like, this particular paragraph, she's like, it's not hard to put Daya back into hacker mode. She slides her laptop towards her and immediately starts tapping away on the keyboard. The quickness of her fingers gives me a run for my money when I'm in a particularly good part in writing my book. She's been known to have to replace a few keys from how hard she types. Like, be so for real. Be so for real. Like, what is it? Guys, I'm truly over it. So Adeline is trying to insinuate that her great grandmother's stalker killed her great grandmother, which is very likely, by the way. And then Daya, her best friend, is like, Addy, I love you and I'm going to say this with all my heart, but don't project. I'm starting to get the feeling that you want Ronaldo to be the killer, because in your head Ronaldo is her great grandmother's stalker, by the way, because in your head that would criminalize your stalker too. Please tell me that's not why you're seeking justice for Gigi, her great grandmother, because you're looking for a reason to hate your stalker when in actuality you don't. Why would she need a reason to hate somebody that is literally stalking and infiltrating every single aspect of her life? Somebody that literally hates her, somebody that continues to harass her sexually and otherwise. Like, and the funny thing is that it's actually true. Like, she does not hate him, like she invites him, but then she does not ask for, like, it's so this isn't morally gray. This is like, it's teetering on morally black as like, I don't know guys, I'm obviously trying to push through because I want to film this video and I want this video to be full-fledged, but it's really corny. Like, I am trying so hard not to DNF, and that's why I have resorted to the audiobook so I can listen to it faster and get it over it, because I'm truly like, just I can't do it anymore. I'm 47% into it and it feels like it's just going on forever. It's so freaking long. Enough.
To get some time with you. I'd rather be half involved and missing all of you. Drinking till the sun comes up. Better than feeling like I need your love. Dancing till my legs go numb, till I go numb. Dancing till my legs go numb, till I go numb. Dancing till my legs go numb, till I go numb. Baby, it's 4:30 and my whole world is upside down. I can't help but wish that you were here with me right now. These nights are rolling.
I actually just filmed a video and I realized that I did not give my final thoughts about this book and close off this video. So here I am to do just that. Once again, if you really love this book and you don't want to feel judged for it, maybe just click off right now, because I am going to give some really harsh criticism about this book and you might not like that, and then you will come and blame me when I already warned you. So yeah, the most annoying part about this book was that the writing was not the worst thing I've ever read. I know it's hard to believe, but I have read worse, and that annoyed me because this author actually has potential to be so freaking good, and she chose to go in this direction, and I'm just very confused as to why that is. It was definitely very corny and cringy at various points, but I also believe that it's because it was in first person and the characters themselves are corny and cringy and stupid, and that made the writing seem even worse than it actually could have been if the characters were smart. The major downfall of this book is its original plot and how it was fleshed out so unintelligently. Like, the amount of plot holes in this book can actually come together and be filled with enough water to form a river. It was also just very unnecessarily gory and disturbing, and just like the torture scenes I felt were so unnecessary. The intricate detailing at stupid parts and unnecessary parts was just like, what was the reason? I did not need to know all that. The smut as well, holy hell. I like smut. Like, I'm not a smut hater. I enjoy smut when it is done well, when it is placed well and done well and not excessive. This was excessive, and it was excessively detailed, and it was already bad. Like, what was happening within the sexual situations were horrible as hell, but like the way it was written too, especially with the male main character's way of speaking, and he's like I'm actually remembering now how much I really hate this book. The hype that this book has gotten, you would think it was like, I don't even know, but like, are you okay? Are we all right on TikTok and BookTok? Are you all doing okay? Like, is everything all right up here? Let me know, because I am confused, I am perplexed, I am scared. The romance, which is like what people talk about the most when it comes to this book, was horrible. Like, the entire trajectory of it was her saying she can never fall in love with him because obviously he's a stalker and he's a bad person, this, that, he's a serial killer, and then he seduces her, he coerces her, he borderline forces her, and then actually forces her to do sexual things, horrible sexual things. And she's actively saying no, but also arcing her back towards him. And then afterwards she regrets it and she's like, I'm never going to do this again, and then it happens again, and it's just that over and over and over, and it's like, what are we doing? Genuinely, what are we doing? It's all so freaking lost base. The author of this book will try to make you feel like there's something deeper than just lust going on in this romance, but don't be deceived. She will try to convince you that there's more to this relationship, like there's something actually beautiful blooming here. She will try to convince you that regardless of him being a liar, a stalker, a rapist, an assaulter, a serial killer, he's still a good man because he's also saving these girls from bad people. He is a But no, it's fine because he is saving young girls from pedophiles. Like, he's a good man. Are you out of your mind? The author will really try to make you feel like despite this man's many flaws, he's still a good person at heart, and he truly just believes this girl is supposed to be his soulmate, especially with the whole stupid ass plot line about her grandmother also having a stalker and falling in love with him, and it's like, oh, this is faith, why them reincarnated. Like, I want us to think with our brains just a tiny little bit, because what is going on? What is happening? The whole sex trafficking thing, and with Zaid trying to be a hero of sorts, like that whole plot line was so freaking crazy to me. Like, the way it was written so poorly, you can tell she did literally no research going into this. Like, there was no form of education that was put into talking about such a serious and delicate topic, and it really infuriated me. Honestly, it felt very insulting, it felt very offensive, and I don't know how and in what world people are defending this book and loving this book. Like, I'm actually judging you. I told you to leave, but you're still here. But if you actually genuinely like this book, if you actually genuinely are saying, oh, Zaid, I need Zaid right now, I want you to like see somebody, like genuinely. I know it's always like, oh, don't judge people, people have fantasies, books and reading is a form of escapism, don't judge people for what they like to read. I'm actually judging you for this one. Like, I'm really judging you, because this man is horrible. Try as you may to defend it, to, you know, say, oh, but this or oh, but that. He is in fact all those things and more, and there's nothing you can do that can change that or make that appealing to people that actually use their brains. So maybe you might like to look inwards, but that's just that. I am going to stop talking about this book now and leave you with my review of this book on Goodreads, and let you know that I did in fact give this book 1 star. At first it was 1.5 but then I thought about it and I was like, you might actually be crazy. I gave it 1 star because, one, I cannot give it 0 stars, but also I feel like once you're an author that has written something, no matter how bad, and you've published it, I feel like you deserve at least 1 star. So that's why I give this book 1 star. I'm going to stop talking about this now and hope that someday I can forget I read this book. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. It was quite intense and just funny overall. Yeah. I don't know if I would be trying any more dark romance books, because this one has really just scarred me, and I think it might be a lifelong thing trying to heal from this. Let me know if there are actually good dark romances that are not like just horrible people. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I truly appreciate it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and also follow me on Instagram if you want to be book besties or just besties in general. I would really appreciate that. But for now, I will see you in the next video. Bye.